You've been lied to. Not by some villain in a movie, not by some stranger on the internet, but by something far more dangerous: own mind. See, most people chase motivation like it's the secret to success, like it's the missing piece of the puzzle. They wait for the perfect moment, the magical spark, the lightning bolt of inspiration that will finally push them to start. But here's the truth no one wants to say out loud. Motivation is not coming to save you. It never was. You don't need more motivation. You need to understand what it really is. And you need to stop worshiping it like some mythical force and start treating it like the unreliable friend it actually is. Because if you wait for motivation to show up, you'll be waiting forever. But if you can learn how it truly works, if you can learn what no one ever told you, then you can finally break free from the cycle of false starts and dead ends. Let's get real. Motivation is not the beginning. It's the result. It's what shows up after you act, not before. You don't wake up motivated and then go for a run. You go for a run and then you feel motivated. That small shift in perspective changes everything. Because now, instead of asking, how do I get motivated, you ask a better question. What action can I take right now, even when I don't feel like it? That's the secret high performers know, the athletes, the entrepreneurs, the people who get things done consistently. They don't rely on feelings. They don't negotiate with their mood. They understand that motivation is a reward, not a requirement. You don't need to feel ready to move forward. You just need to move. But most people don't. They wait. They stall. They convince themselves that if they just watch one more video, read one more quote, scroll one more minute, they'll magically feel inspired. But the more you chase that feeling, the further it slips away. Because motivation is not something you find, something you generate. Think about it. The first time you go to the gym, do you feel excited? Maybe, but more likely you feel awkward, weak, out of place. The motivation isn't there yet, but go again tomorrow, then again the next day. Suddenly, your body starts changing. You notice results. You build momentum. Now the motivation shows up not because you waited, but because you acted. This is what they don't teach you. Most of the world sells you motivation like a product. Fancy quotes, hype music, dramatic speeches. But real motivation doesn't come from outside of you. It's built through action. It's earned through repetition. Every time you show up when you don't want to, you make a deposit in your confidence account. And one day you wake up and realize something incredible. You no longer need motivation. You've built discipline. Discipline is the grown-up version of motivation. It doesn't care how you feel. It doesn't ask for permission. It simply says, we're doing this because it matters. Discipline doesn't fluctuate with your emotions. It's rooted in your values, and values don't change with the weather. Let's stop pretending success is about feeling good all the time. It's not. It's about doing what needs to be done, especially when you don't feel like it. That's where the breakthroughs live, not in the easy days, but in the days when everything inside you says, quit, and you choose to continue anyway. Look, it's not your fault if you've been tricked into thinking motivation was the key. The entire world reinforces that lie. Social media shows people grinding at 5 a.m. looking flawless, smiling like hard work is always glamorous. But they're not showing the days they dragged themselves out of bed with zero energy. They're not showing the hours they spent in doubt, insecurity, frustration. That part doesn't get clicks. But that part is the truth. The road to your goals will be filled with days when you feel like giving up, days when you question everything, days when motivation is nowhere to be found. That's not failure. That's part of the process. It's a difference between those who win and those who don't. The winners don't make decisions based on temporary feelings. They make decisions based on long-term vision. Every successful person you admire has something in common. They kept going. That's it. Not because they were always inspired, but because they trained themselves to show up anyway. They mastered the boring. They got good at doing things even when it sucked. That's the real flex, not being hyped, but being relentless. So what do you do when you don't feel motivated? You lower the bar. Not your standards, just the starting line. Instead of saying, I have to write a whole chapter, say, I'll write for 5 minutes. Instead of, I need to run 5 miles, say, I'll put on my shoes and walk around the block. Once you start, momentum kicks in. Action beats inertia. And before you know it, you've done more than you planned. That's the magic of momentum. It's like pushing a heavy boulder. The first inch is the hardest. But once it starts rolling, it gets easier. Your job isn't to be perfect, it's to begin. Begin messy, begin tired, begin without clarity, but begin. And if you fall off track, welcome to being human. No one does this flawlessly. What matters isn't how many times you fall, it's how quickly you get back up. Don't turn a bad day into a bad week. Don't let a slip become a spiral. Forgive yourself fast, learn the lesson, and move forward. Because every day you hesitate is a day you delay your potential. It's every excuse you entertain is a future regret in disguise. You're not lazy, you're not broken, just haven't built the system yet. A system that works even when motivation doesn't. Want real progress? Build habits, build routines, set clear priorities. Track your wins, celebrate the small victories. Stack your days with small, non-negotiable actions. When the foundation is strong, you don't need to rely on willpower. You create a lifestyle that carries you, even through the storms. You don't rise to the level of your motivation, you fall to the level of your habits. So next time you feel like quitting, pause, breathe, remind yourself of your why. Not the surface level reason, but the real one. The one that makes your chest tighten. The one that keeps you awake at night. That reason is stronger than any temporary lack of motivation. You're closer than you think. Most people give up right before the breakthrough. They don't realize how far they've come. They forget that growth is invisible until it's not. You plant the seed, water it daily, and one day it breaks through the surface. But the magic didn't happen in the moment it bloomed. It happened in every invisible day you showed up and stayed consistent. This journey you're on, it's not supposed to be easy, but it is worth it. So stop waiting for motivation. Stop waiting for the perfect time. That time is now, not next week, not next year, right now. Let's take the first step. Then take another. Build your own momentum. Train yourself to keep going, because the version of you on the other side of all this effort, they're not motivated, they're transformed. They're waiting for you to catch up. Don't quit. Not today, not now, not when you've come this far. Because what they don't tell you about motivation is that it was never the answer.
You are